Okay, guys, there is one habit that if you stick to it, it will transform your life in the most dramatic ways. And this is the habit of daily self meetings. A self meeting is when you basically set some time aside to just have a conversation with yourself, to actually talk with yourself. And particularly, you're going to have a conversation between your rational self and your emotional self. And I do this every single day. Usually I do it twice a day. I actually put it in my calendar to make sure that I know, hey, I've got my little morning self-meeting, self-coaching session, and then I've got my evening sort of wrap-up self-meeting, self-coaching session. And you guys know that I'm a fan of daily habits, but I'm also like very, very selective about which habits I use on the daily level, because I think most things actually shouldn't be a daily habit. You know, once you start trying to cram too many daily habits in, it just becomes like shortcut thinking. It's like, oh, well, if I just add this, then my life will be amazing. It's like, no, let's really, keep it really focused. And this is one of the ones that I think is worth it. If you just set aside the time to have a meeting with yourself to help you process yourself, your own life. Because the reality is most of us have more than enough wisdom and understanding and knowledge to handle the problems that we currently have in our life. But we don't really actually give ourselves permission or the time to actually access all of that wisdom and power, right? We just kind of get up and we just go on our routine. We're on autopilot and we know we're uncomfortable and frustrated in the middle of the day. We don't even really check in with ourselves. So we just engage in escapism and we, don't show up as the person that we really want to be. So for example, let's, take a typical scenario of where someone wakes up in the morning and they don't want to do their day. How many times do you experience that? You wake up, you're like, I don't really want to do this day. Okay. Well, what if you took 10 to 15 minutes to just talk to yourself? Be like, hey, emotions, how you feeling? And you give them a chance to vent. It's like, oh, well, I don't want to deal with this thing and I got this problem and blah, blah, blah. And you get it out. And then rationally, you respond to it. You offer yourself the advice you would give to a friend if they were coming to you with that same problem. I can almost guarantee you that you will end up feeling significantly, if not completely, better. And you'll probably be able to get yourself in a motivated, focused state. Now, there's a chance that you won't. Maybe you have some deeper problems that you haven't really processed, but hey, this will actually give you some awareness around it. And then you could come up with a plan to deal with it. A plan to, I'm going to talk to someone, or I'm going to read a book about this thing, or, whatever the situation is, you can come up with some kind of action plan that will make you feel better. The reality is that all of our escapism, it's caused by a disconnect between our rational and emotional selves. These parts just kind of drift away and then they clash against each other. Our rational says, hey, you should be doing this stuff. And your emotional self is like, I don't want to be doing this stuff. And then we just kind of, diverge. We go alternate between white knuckling and then escaping. And we don't want to be living like that. We want to be living as an integrated person. And so just by taking time out of your day, ideally in the morning and in the evening, you guys maybe have heard me call this in a more official way, like the reset ritual in the past. If you just take this time to just show up and have these two parts talk to each other as friends, all right? I've got a whole series on the YouTube, my YouTube playlists called the Self-Talk series, Psychomagnetic Self-Talk series, if you want to learn more stuff about this specifically. But it doesn't need to be complex. You can literally just do it in a journal. You do like an emotional vent and then a rational response, an emotional vent and a rational response. It can take just a few minutes, but it will absolutely transform your life if you start doing this. But honestly, the best place to do this kind of work is in the Self-Mastery Club. That's why I created it. I created a place where guys could actually write this stuff out, get help and feedback from other guys who were doing it. I have a whole ton of resources of really deep stuff of like how you can really maximize this relationship between your rational and emotional selves, or as I call them, your primal and terminal selves. So if you're interested in this kind of stuff, taking this stuff deeper, then make sure you check out the link and check out the Self-Mastery Club. All right. Ooh, yeah. I'll see you on the next one.